Okay. Hey guys. It's me. It's Krista Marie, Reality with Krista Marie. I almost forgot where I was. This is Reality with Krista Marie. And this is Whose Side Are You On? The segment of Reality with Krista Marie. And we're going to discuss New Jersey. I see you guys are in the chat. Terry, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. And I will drop the link, Gab, in a little bit. Yeah. And then we can discuss everything you guys want to discuss on the episode. But yeah. Actually, let me drop the link now. But just give me a little bit. All right, good. Thank you. Just give me a little bit. Let me get through some of the episode and then call. But let me drop it now because I'll forget. And guys, if you haven't seen my live the other day that I did with Housewife Historian on here, we did start a podcast that we've been talking about for a while, and we launched it. It's called Housewives and Headlines. Yes, I know, it sounds like just another reality TV Housewives podcast. It is the news. It's a deeper dive into the news. Once a week, it'll be on every Saturday. I'll get a new episode. It's on all the podcast platforms. We are submitted into Apple iTunes. It just takes a couple of days for it to get to go through their system or whatever. Hey guys, hey everybody, hey Naughty Love. Yeah. So thank you guys. If you can go subscribe to that. I get like Spotify, iHeart, Google, and again, it's going to be. Thank you, Shan. Again, it's going to be on just the podcast for now, on just podcast platforms for now. Trying to get that situated, But with Housewife Historian, and yeah, so I'm excited about that. Whose Side Are You On podcast is still obviously going to be here. Because originally that was where all that was going to be a podcast there, but I just never did. I kept it here. And my channel's not going anywhere because it's growing finally. And yeah, we're each going to keep our channels separate. We do our thing, collab with people, do our thing. We are completely opposite sides of Jersey, which is fun, and but obviously, it wouldn't be fun if we all agreed, right? So yeah. And what else? And okay, so I didn't do Jersey last week because I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Twitter, yeah. Right now, I'm live on them, and I will be on TikTok. And again, thank you. I see where all the new subscribers are coming from. I love you guys. I appreciate it. And appreciate that. What was I going to say? Okay. So I didn't do Jersey last week. I know that was a lot with Vanderpump stuff that came out. That's all I could think about. But then I also realized it was like a filler episode too. And I'm also trying to I'm really getting exhausted with the Teresa and Joe stuff. I mean, it's just, imagine how they feel. But I understand that this is the show. But I mean, this has been going on for so long that it's real. It's happening on and off the show. It's really getting disturbing. And I have some things to say about it, but we'll get to it. But that was my whole point. I thought about doing it, and I was like, you know what? I'm freaking exhausted. And it's not like I'm discussing the feud off of on panels. That's all I'm doing. It's not like I'm discussing it in my personal life, you know what I mean? But I'm really exhausted by it. I really honestly won't even watch, I won't even go on and check social media anymore and I should, because that's kind of my job, but I kind of just, I'm getting really tired of it. And I understand why Melissa and Joe are where they stand right now. They just are tired of defending themselves. When they do defend themselves, it's like everybody attacks them. And and then the latest thing that came out, oh God, I don't even know if I really want to talk about it. And I was going to address the Laura stuff again. I don't even know if I want to do that, but thank you, Shan. I appreciate that. But yeah, Gabby, I think I'll add Gabby in a little bit, but Gabby, I hope you can still hear me even though you're backstage. I think you can. Anyway. So let's get into the episode. Again, it's the Jersey Shore. And of course, because I live here and because I never go anywhere else, and we do staycations, and I get really antsy around this time of year. Most of you probably already that know me know that, and that usually I'm out in my yard by now, setting up the pool soon. and getting all that together and thinking about going to the shore or being at the beach and doing stuff there. So, of course, I'm getting very nostalgic watching it because that was a year ago and it's coming up now again and it's exciting. And I'm telling you, I know that it's not the Turks and Caicos. It's not like some beautiful island or anything, but the Jersey Shore is pretty. It is not. The beach is pretty nice. The boardwalk, it's just a whole different energy that I don't understand if anybody else. See, Naughty Love, you know, you're from Georgia. She knows. Isn't it a completely different energy? Like, you could be our age, right? And then, like, I'm telling you, since we've been going there since, living there, going there since we were kids, it's just the second that you get over that bridge and you get onto the island and you start to smell not only the seawater, but the boardwalk, the food. It's just an experience. And, like, I don't know, maybe it's me because I live here, but I'm inviting so many people. I've invited so many of you guys to come stay here at my shore house because I have plenty of room. My uncles have houses. We have plenty of room, guys. So I'm trying to do a content creators weekend thing. If anybody, like, I know it's like little like short notice now, but I do have a couple of friends coming on Memorial Day weekend to stay at the shore house, and that we will be in close proximity to some people at the Jersey Shore. And I don't like to say the word interview because that's like I'm not a professional or anything like that, but it'll be fun. We'll see what happens. What else? Also, guys, if you're not subscribed to me, subscribe to me. If you're not subscribed to the Juice, that's the Juice, and I don't want to say the rest of the channel wrong, but you guys know who I'm talking about. Nadi, help me out here. Can you put the Juice's info in there for me in the chat, please, so I don't mess it up? And I want to put the link for their channel and anybody else's channel as well, because I support everyone. And even though Shannon Van is on a break and she's semi-retired, Shannon Van, you go to subscribe to her so that when she does come out of retirement, you guys can. So, okay, so I guess we'll start getting the episode. And like, I was like dragging getting through it. I don't know what my problem is. I think I'm just exhausted from it, but I was dragging getting through it. But let's talk about it. Juice and Radio and Talk. Thank you. And if you can get their link, I think I have it. I can put the link in the chat, but I can also link it to this video. Yeah, definitely watch it. So I was watching. Okay, so I watched Teresa and Jennifer. They were at the store shopping, and then Fuda and Danielle were at the store. Rachel and Danielle Cabral were at the store shopping for bathing suits for the luau, for Melissa's luau. And they're speaking about the fight that was happening at Danielle's, I guess, mozzarella party or whatever. And talking about how Jennifer, Aiden, and Marge were getting into it, and who was the nastiest and who was more nasty. And Danielle says, well, Marge was pretty nasty. And Marge and Jennifer, they have some things that I understand. I get it. They don't like each other. However, this is a TV show. This is not TV, this is a reality TV show. And there is supposed to be some level of bashing, shit talking, fighting, arguing, whatever. So, and you're also getting paid to do that. So when they're talking about how Margaret's best friend, childhood best friend, she makes me nuts, Laura Lee Jensen, Marge's ex-best friend. Now, yes, everybody agrees how freaking stupid and how shady it is that this chick had turned on Marge and spilled all these secrets, these arsenal secrets. Okay, let's just remember, you have best friends, right? Everybody has a best friend. Do you not tell your best friend almost absolutely everything? And even so, even if that's the case, she's a housewife, okay? Marge is supposed to have shit on people. Marge is supposed to talk a little bit of poop, okay? She gets paid for it. What doesn't make sense to me is the people that do it that don't get paid for it, like Laura Lee, who calls up Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, and this is why Marge and Jennifer will never be friends again, and has a 4-hour lunch where she brings an info packet, 4 hours long info packet to the lunch for free, and turns on her childhood best friend to tell these secrets. She thinks she has these secrets when you find out really it's just the stuff she's either read in the blogs, watched on the show. She had nothing new, and she didn't say anything that people didn't already know or already talk about. And the fact that she did it for free and isn't even getting paid for it blows my mind. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But anyway, so Danielle is talking about how Marge and Jennifer Aiden have this disagreement, have this thing. Well, that's, hello. Marge is supposed to have an arsenal. Yes, you should be worried about the other housewives turning on you, Danielle, because that's what they do. This is a show. And I know that there's there's an agreement or an unsaid agreement or agreement that you all have that you don't bring up anything that's not already in the blogs or cannot be found online on the blogs. Okay. So let's not be surprised that Marge has information on people, because let me just be honest with you guys. This is New Jersey, and Kim D will tell you. I mean, there is a lot of shit that people say, and a lot of rumors that go around, but there's a lot of stuff that's not said, and there's a lot of things that Kim D doesn't say, and there's a lot of things that isn't being brought up on the show. Okay, so it's like, the stuff that is being brought up is nothing that like somebody is just like, it's not some secret, like real. She didn't have anything special, put it that way. This girl basically just, and everybody's making such a big deal out of it because the fact that Jennifer and Teresa, or who she had the lunch with, Teresa, Joe and Melissa's brother, sister, and the information that she told was just old rumors that had been around forever about Melissa and Nick, and everybody's sitting there, Jennifer and Teresa are acting like, oh, well, maybe she has something on, maybe Marge has something on them. That's why she's up her ass, blah, 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 blah. Like, you bitches, like, I know I'm going ahead, but like, that scene right there tells you everything. And unless you guys don't know the whole backstory, I'm telling you now. That's why I said this has to be discussed before the next episode. But anyway, so talking about the arsenal. It's not an arsenal. Christ, you're best friends with somebody. Of course, you have a lifetime of secrets that you probably know. Do I think that she has arsenals of information on people? Yeah, I think they all have arsenal of information on each other. But they know not to talk about it unless it's in a blog. So I'm just telling you that, guys. Yeah. Okay. And if Teresa wants something to get out, she pushes it out through other people. And that's why she had no problem sitting at that lunch and thinking that her hands are clean, because she's not the one who repeated it. Jennifer did. But you knew that it was coming out. You knew that it was going to be brought up. You knew it was going to be a problem. And look what happened. It is. So, yeah. And then I love how Danielle goes to Rachel. Don't mess with a woman scorned. And Rachel's confused. And I don't think she's confused because she doesn't know what that means. I think she's confused because, what do you mean? Who's scorned and why? What do you mean Margaret's scorned? How's Margaret a scorned woman? Or is Laura a scorned woman? I didn't understand what that meant. And that's what I think that Rachel was, her whole thing of like, I don't get it, is because it doesn't make sense. Don't fuck with a woman scorned. Okay. A woman scorned. So that she means either Laura or Marge, because if you screw them, then they're going to have an arsenal of information to turn on you. Well, I mean, not really. Like, I don't see that's not what always happens. Like, a woman scorned would be like if like the mistress of somebody, that's a woman scorned who gets back at like the husband or the new wife or something. That's not this. So, I mean, unless you are calling Laura a woman scorned, I don't know who scorned her. Margaret didn't scorn her. Bravo scorned her. Again, this is New Jersey anyway. Why are you so like disloyal and shady and disgusting, Laura? You're not getting paid for it. That's the sick part. And then you try to get paid for your interviews. Like David from the Behind the Velvet Rope said, she better come with something new. Guarantee you, David, she will not. Nothing you don't already know. Kim D probably knows more than she does. Anyway, moving on. So, where are we at now? Oh, okay. So we move on to the next scene. Jennifer and Teresa are shopping. This is the scene I was talking about. They're shopping for bracelets for the bridesmaids' gifts. Again, I don't really care. Whatever. It's a thing. That's what you do. Libby's paying for it. Great, wonderful. She says that Teresa's plain every day and it's her day to be extra. I think that even on our most boring days, we still look extra. So, yeah, that's kind of like, we know what happened with the wedding hair. So, yeah. And then she's talking about how she wants. She wishes that Joe was at the wedding. Joe was going to walk her down the aisle, talking about the wishes that they were at the wedding and everything was different, and bringing up about the shore house and how that Melissa's never invited them to stay at their shore house. Well, Teresa, if you rent a shore house with your 7 family members, I mean, first of all, the first shore house was a lot smaller, like she said. If you're renting a house, why do you need to stay there? And how come, like she said, how come Oh, the whole thing with Gia asking Aunt Melissa and Joe if she could say the truth. I think she needs to clarify that situation, that question, because in what world would Joe say no to Gia that you can't use the shrub? I mean, I don't know. But and then she says, well, it must be there. Maybe she should have me stay there instead of Marge. But Teresa's staying with Teresa's staying at Jennifer Aiden's new house on the Seaside Boardwalk. Pretty sure. Noddy, if you have seen that, if you saw that scene, if you saw it, I can't figure out if that's Seaside Boardwalk or Point Pleasant Boardwalk or something. But anyway, her condo is basically on the boardwalk, and she bought it fully furnished, which is not abnormal for Jersey. It's not abnormal to buy a fully furnished house at the shore. What you don't want to do is sleep on the same sheets and the same mattresses. I mean, even Jennifer, who lives in basically like Beverly, like what do they call it, the Taj Mahal pajamas, knows better than that. And yeah, I was completely like watching that scene. And first of all, like just watching Teresa and Jennifer Aiden talk and say that stuff about Marge and say, well, then maybe she has something on Joe and Melissa. Teresa, what do you think? Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, you guys know what you're doing. You know what you did. You know what you're trying to do. And you know what you meant. And it's like, you can't, Teresa, you are dying. You cannot wait for this to get out. You cannot wait till you think that comes out and that you're going to prove somehow now, all of a sudden, Joe is a cheater or Melissa's a cheater and somebody's a cheater. And like, Jennifer Aiden, I think you're forgetting that the person that you're trying to say that Melissa hooked up with, whatever, it was such a stupid misunderstanding. The whole reason nobody's supposed to talk about it because it wasn't a thing. And you don't talk about it because you're on reality TV and this shit gets blown the hell up like it did. And people take things and they twist it and they do all kinds of crazy stuff to it. You know what I mean? And again, if you're on a reality TV show, nobody's going to believe that it's not, you know what I mean? You're going to be 50-50 with it, right? Like we are. I'm not. I know it's not true. I feel bad for Nick. I feel bad for his wife. I feel bad for his family. Joe and Melissa, they're used to it. They're solid, dude. 20 years, they're not, nothing, that's something like that. Listen, it didn't happen. Marge wouldn't hold a secret like that. And like, I don't know, man. The whole thing with that, like, it was her, Marge's best friend, okay? So, of course, if you're not supposed to talk about it, she's not on the show. That's her best friend. Of course, she's going to say, hey, this funny thing happened. Oh, this person thought that they saw this or that, and then, it wasn't really that. And they laughed, haha, funny. Oh, yeah, how can you really thought that we were hooking up? That's funny. Let's, everybody talks about it, laughs about it. Okay, we probably shouldn't be even like talking about this again because, like we said, we're on a reality TV show and things can get around and it was a misunderstanding. It wasn't really that. And of course, you tell your best friend and you think she's not, that's okay. You can do that. Just like she probably tells Joe B stuff, and because that's her husband, and you don't see him saying anything. And no, he did not confirm that rumor about Jackie and Evan. He did not. What he said was, yes, I heard them talking about it. What they were talking about is how the rumor came up. He heard them when they were filming the show. He heard it being brought up in the house. They heard him fighting about it. That's what he heard. You guys forget about timeline and stuff. Again, Teresa's talking about how she doesn't want things being taught. The rumors about Louis shouldn't be brought up, and don't you talk about my Louis and da da da. But she has no problem letting people talk about it because she says, if it's not true, what are you worried about? Okay, well, how come that's not true when you have people talking about your brother and Melissa? If it's not true, what are you worried about? If the things about Louis aren't true, then what are you worried about, Teresa? You know what I mean? It's just a double standard. And that's what I think I'm getting really exhausted from. Because I can sit here and tell you all day long who I think is right and wrong and tell you that, what I feel about Teresa. And people will argue with me, they'll drag me and say that I flip-flop. And sometimes I love her. And I never not liked Teresa. What I said was I understand her. I explained her perception. I don't agree with it. I'm almost the same way as her, except I have empathy. And I go back and I apologize when I use my shit, because I use my shit a lot off the cuff like her. I would never cut my brother. I don't cut my family off. And I just feel like it's just getting exhausting because she doesn't make any sense. It's none of it. At this point, I don't know why anybody even argues on their behalf at this point, because everybody agrees that right now it's not happening. And if it's going to happen, they need counseling. Teresa and Joe and nobody else first. Maybe even separately first, like Teresa's doing. And then figure out what you're so angry about. Because again, I don't know what the hell she's so angry about. I don't. And I'm talking about Teresa. And I understand, man, years and years and years of stuff. Do I think that the whole thing with Don and Marco about being invited to the wedding is a crock of shit? It's a crock of shit. It was a dig at Melissa not to do that. Teresa is so I don't know which is so unaware, I guess. I mean, just not that deep. The well doesn't run that deep, okay? So she doesn't see the significance of why it's a big deal that Melissa's family, I'm not even talking about family. How come Melissa's mom was not invited to the wedding? I don't know. Maybe Lisa, no, the sister. I don't know. But the fact that she's going to go all the way back to what happened at the christening 13 years ago and blame that for the reason that she now is not inviting Melissa's family just because Melissa's not inviting. First of all, Teresa, stop saying that you didn't invite them because you didn't have Melissa in the wedding, because you did try to have them at the wedding. You did invite them to the wedding. They might not have been in it, and you tried to have her in the last minute, but you did invite your brother and your sister-in-law to the wedding. Or yes. So why are you saying then you wouldn't invite Donna? Because it's not even about Joe and Melissa. It's about respect and the fact that, like, yes, maybe other people don't understand or agree with it, but where I'm from, where we're Italian in New Jersey. It's just the way I see it, the way it's always been. It's a respect thing. There's no problem there. It's just literally, if you're going to have certain people there that you feel worse about, why would you do that? Why would you not have Donna Marco there? And maybe even like some of her family, even if Melissa wasn't there. And you're going to say, and then Louie just completely disagreeing with it completely when she says it was not an oversight. Louie goes, I apologize. She should be there. I agree. Tells Donna he's trying. So when he's trying to get Teresa to see the light, again, Teresa, the anger, I don't understand. It's just maybe you don't feel things. I don't know. I don't see where, like, that there's ever like an excuse for not having Donna Marco there, except for you to dig at Melissa, to dig at the family. And going over to talking about Danielle and her brother. Now, this is what I have a problem with Danielle, because Danielle comes on the show, and this is her moment. Okay, this is what she's always wanted. She has a situation with her brother, a family situation. You give people the story, you tell them the story. Of course, it sounds absolutely ridiculous, and of course, it's not just over Instagram. Nobody has to. Doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. But again, you brought it up. Why are you not wanting to talk about the rest of the story? Why are you getting upset with people for talking about it? This is your moment, girl. This is your moment to make something happen on this show. Because if you didn't want it to be talked about, you would have never brought it up to begin with. Why did you even talk about it to begin with? It's like you're mad at everybody for talking about it. It is odd. It is weird that you said it's about Instagram. Trust me, girl, I understand. If I was to explain to you why I get upset with my brother and sister, why I had blocked them certain times, because of things that they said they made fun of me, and you guys would not believe me if I said that was a reason that I would literally either block them from my personal social media because I'm tired of being made fun of, because I have done that. But I do not think that's a reason that they would be kicked out of their wedding, or like that. I do not think that's a reason that she got kicked out of the wedding and all, or not invited to the wedding. And again, it's not unusual. You brought it up. I mean, what is the big deal? You want to talk about it. If you want something to happen with the show, Danielle, then you need to talk about this stuff. And running away is the wrong thing to do. And now, do I think you ran away because you were pissed off and that you were afraid you were going to fight? Yeah, you kind of said that. But, I mean, you didn't have to be. It didn't have to be like that. You literally could have just walked over to the group of girls who basically are your friend and said, hey, yeah, there's more to the story. And I am going to talk about it, and I will talk about it. But I just don't want to talk about it now. And if you guys are my friends, then you guys are going to stop talking about me now and just tell me to my face, because I am on the side of, don't talk shit about me to anybody else. Say it to me. You can talk about it to other people, but you better be saying it to me first. And you come figure it out with me. That is my biggest pet peeve. That has always been my pet peeve with the other Bitter Betty. And I legally cannot say her name, but she is part of the Bitter Betty Club. And that was my problem with her. That all these things that you thought and you hate about me, but you never say to me. You just said it to everybody else and smiled in my face. So, like, I get that part, but Danielle, they were not saying it. They were literally could have just, you could have walked over and said, hey, ladies, I keep hearing my name. What's up? And yes, there is some stuff about, there is some stuff you don't know. And I will talk about it. But it's my story. And you're right. It is odd. It is weird. I didn't tell the whole story. But the thing is, like, you now making such a stupid and exit and leaving and then saying it's because you wanted to beat people up and stuff. It's like, no. And I don't like it. Shout out Kevin Chu. Kevin Chu, I heard the show's got canceled. No, unfortunately, they're still on. Yeah, I think it looked like Point Pleasant too. I wasn't sure, but like, and then people keep talking about Sayreville being so far north. It's not, listen, Jersey's not that big. An hour north is like the whole state of New Jersey. It's not that big. It's not that big of a deal. It's called the Real Housewives of New Jersey, not the Real Housewives of Paramus or North Jersey or South Jersey. Jersey. You can live wherever you want. Nobody said you had to live in town. Just because she doesn't live in Franklin Lakes or Paramus or Tom's River or anything like that does not mean she's not from New Jersey. It's real. So it doesn't matter where she lives. Like, and yeah, she had her party at Staten Island. Staten Island is not that different than this side of Jersey. Trust me, it's really not that different. I mean, it is a little bit, but it's really not. Like, it's you know, I guess it was kind of weird to shout this out now, but like, yeah. And then I loved Melissa Shorthouse. I loved seeing Donna there because, you know, I knew that Teresa would feel like an asshole, and she should. And the fact that Louis basically apologized for both of them, as Teresa was saying, no, it was not an oversight. You know, Kev, I literally was joking with, I'm not going to say who today, but you know who I'm going to say. And I said the Real Housewives of Methville. And do you need me to go live, my friends? Because I will go live. And we will talk about the Real Housewives of Methville. And, you know, because our friends like to put things on social media and, you know, about cheating and their boyfriends are doing it, whatever. And it just blows my mind and makes me even more exhausted. But I was like, man, Kev, you called it right there. Like, seriously, Real Housewives. Stop. Why are you? And I don't even know what you're talking about. Where's that town? That's a weird town. Don't say that word. That's a weird name. Gloucester City. Where's that? I don't know anybody that lives there. That's like South Jersey. Just kidding. Anyway, you're the Real thing. I don't live there anymore. I'm just kidding. Anyway, Real Housewives of New Jersey. She is a walking double standard. I agree. Yeah, and sometimes I feel like she's just not. It's just because she's not that smart and she doesn't really think before she speaks. Because like you noticed, she had a ghostwriter for her books. She has a ghostwriter for her books. Louis has to tell her what to say. She doesn't know how to have feelings. And she doesn't, sometimes I don't think she realizes what even a double standard is or that she's even doing it. And I really hope that people are starting to see that. And do I think, yes, they were both to blame. Not Melissa really, but Teresa and Joe are both to blame for the years and years and years of discord. Okay. It's not Melissa's fault. And Teresa is still confused on whose fault it is because she said in an interview the other day that she was going back and forth, basically. It's yeah. And what I really believe, like I keep saying, what I really truly believe, it's misplaced anger from when their dad was dying or before her dad died. And she was getting mad at Joe for not spending enough time with him when he lived with Teresa after Nona died. Because, of course, Teresa saw him more. Nona, I mean, yeah, the dad moved in with Teresa because Joe went away, remember? Joe Giudice went away. And Nona died, so why wouldn't he move in there? That was what made sense. And it's not about saying that, oh, you would have never ate without us, Teresa. She didn't say it like that. What she meant was the show would have not been filmed with Joe Giudice, and he would have not gotten paid that year. Remember, he had lots and lots of restitution. So he was not making money. They were in debt. They needed the show, and they needed somebody to film with, and that's what they meant. And when Teresa said they only came over when the cameras were there, well, they only went over there once. Of course they did. The cameras were there because Joe Giudice needed a paycheck. I know I backtracked a little bit, just saying. And she, Yeah, like, hi, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Why are we beefing some ears? It's, I know. And I feel like sometimes it's just so obvious that it's not really Joe and Melissa. But then I hear people talk about, Team Teresa, and they talk about why they're on Teresa's side and why they say, and the reasons that they think that she's right. And, they believe the most ridiculous accusations that if you guys really knew, like, I mean, if you really think about it, I don't know if it sounds ridiculous because because I'm here and I'm like, that just would never happen. That just doesn't happen here. Or you guys just don't understand. Not you guys, but like people don't understand that it's just so odd. Like, just for instance, let's just hypothetically say that Louis handed Joe Gorga $250,000 to start a business, right? And then Louis took upon himself, just say hypothetically, Louis goes and gets some paperwork written up, and he's the one who decides how much this 50-50 business that they're opening, 50-50, is who's getting what percentage. Of course, and then Joe says that's absolutely bullshit. I did not agree to that, and we're not going to go forward with this deal. Why do you really think that if he handed him Joe would not give him back the $250,000 if Louis gave him that much money? And don't you think that if that really happened, that the show that we're watching right now, you really think they'd be in the same room with Teresa? And do you think Teresa and Louis would be in the same room with Melissa and Joe if Joe stole $250,000 on the boardwalk or at a shore house and saying that my brother should invite me to stay over if he wants to make things better? Okay. I know I jumped ahead. We're going to get there. And we're going to talk about how much more ridiculous this gets. And I'm not trying to shade anybody's coverage of this, or I don't know why people would believe that. And if Joe did steal $250,000 and did not give the money back, I'm pretty sure this would not be the first time we heard about it. And it wouldn't be the first time I heard about it. So, did I hear they were going to open up some kind of business? Yeah, but it didn't happen. So I didn't really think anything, And yes, before I made this episode, I did make a couple phone calls and ask a couple questions. And anyway, so moving on. I'm sorry, I'm going to recap the rest a little bit real quick. Packing for the shore, yeah. Dolly. I loved, Paulie had heart surgery, and he was probably very smart to set that one out because that was a Jersey Shore party from like circa when we were in our 20s. Okay, that was what we did in our 20s, probably a little bit of our 30s, maybe a little bit now, but not that much. I mean, that was a true Jersey Shore house party, and I understand why all the kids stayed home, and I know why Paulie stayed home because that's a lot, and it's fun, and I cannot freaking wait. I am so excited, literally. Like I wish the season would start. And I mean, I do love when I like when it opens up. I do. I like when everybody comes down and it's vacation season and like all the people and the parties. I mean, honestly, like it is one big walking party in the summertime because the houses are very close together. It's always a million people down there. The shore houses are big and small, but listen, we'll stay 12 in a spot. And like, listen, I've stayed in bathtubs. I've slept in bathtubs. I've had not only my shore house, our shore house, but I've rented them, when I was younger, just because, my friends would always get one. And we did it every summer too. I find it odd that Danielle didn't spend more summers at the shore because me, Melissa, Rachel, Teresa, Dolores, Frank, Britt, we've all spent the summer at the shore, all in groups of friends, and like summer house. That's basically what it was like. And the fact that, I mean, listen, I don't know who my parents were renting to or whatever the last couple summers. It wasn't like groups of like kids and stuff because of where the end that we're at, but like that's all down there. But I, even at my age, when we're sitting out and we're doing that, we can't even hang that long. So yeah, like maybe that's once in the blue moon that happened. But and it is once in a blue moon that they get that drunk and wasted and there's a party that is that fun and that good. And maybe we do need it every once in a while because we are, like I said, in our 40s and it's 50. But man, I don't even know if I could have hanged. I don't drink, so I don't think I could have hanged that long. But anyway, so I liked how Dolores was staying with Rachel. Rachel's house is beautiful, by the way. And Teresa and Louie do have a house. I'm very confused on why they're not staying there. I don't know why they're staying with Jennifer. I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe because of where it's at. I don't know, because it's not in the right. I don't know. I like how Dolores is staying with Rachel and not at Frank's. I guess Frank did completely get the shore house. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was both of theirs, but maybe not. But that's good because, you know, as much as I know that nothing, and most people around them know that nothing will ever, that is not ever a thing. Frank is not upset because he misses Dolores as his wife. He misses her, the friendship, the family that they raised. They were never, both of them are both, not just Dolores. Frank is also in a relationship too. And he's been with Britt as long as Dolores and Paulie have been together. So it's not that he's crying about wanting to be with Dolores. He's crying because of the friendship and the dynamics are changing. And like Dolores said, it's the first boyfriend that does not want to sleep with him. And I think he feels a little slighted. And he's very upset about it. But Frank, you know, he just wants everybody, believe it or not, he does want everybody to get along. And he likes when everybody's cohesive and everybody's together and everybody's getting along. And like little Frankie's the same way. He doesn't like conflict. Little Frankie is like, namaste, not namaste bitches like Teresa and me and fake. Like Frankie's just like, oh, okay. Why are you this? And it's like such a good kid. But like, and Frank basically, he wants everything to always be the same. We don't like change. It's hard and it's probably way different for him. But again, he has Brittany and they have they needed their space too. Nobody wants to like hang out with the ex-boyfriends or the boyfriends and all that. Do I love how they can all have a but they can all be in the same place? Yeah, everything's fine. Like there's no issues. Frank's not crying because of his he's in love with Dolores still. Like that's his best friend. That's his soulmate and that's family. That's family. What we should be talking about is Jennifer Aiden and the fact that we can tell that she's not happy in her marriage because she is telling us. She's telling the therapist. She's telling Bill. She's telling everyone. That makes sense why you're so angry. That would make sense. Dr. Judy should have came. Yes, Dr. Judy should have definitely came. I also think that Teresa's therapist should be there too. I think Teresa's therapist should watch the show. And maybe I don't know if I don't know. But I feel like your therapist should be able to pick up on whether you are bullshitting or whether you are wrong, right, immoral, whatever. Do I think that it's her therapist? No, it's not helping. That's like me trying to sell you guys on me going to therapy and saying that I'm going to stop being a psycho and I'm going to stop reacting. I've tried. It's not happening. I'm less and less. Yes, less and less things. I know what triggers me. I know who triggers me. I know what triggers me and who triggers me. And I blame myself for putting myself in certain situations or watching certain things. And I know that I will see things that will trigger me. And guess what? I still do flip out and I still say it to my friends and you guys, this is a pattern and this keeps happening. And I'm 40 some years old now. Me and this person have not been in each other's lives since 2016. She did not just screw me over recently. It was a long time ago, after the whole season. This is all that crap. That all, we have not been in each other's presence one time. That was it. And since 2016, and that was brought upon and that was a mistake. So that weekend, I mean. So, what was my point? My God, where was I going with this? What was I going with that? I don't know. I forget what I was saying. In the pool house, she doesn't give me. There's just wait, what? Pool house? What happened? Wait, what I missed? Did you guys see Louis pull Joe in the side into the house? Intended, but what the heck is he doing in 3 hours? Oh, Bill. See, do you remember when Bill literally said, or they said that Bill sleeps in the pool house and Jennifer denied it and said he sleeps out there and stuff like that, and she denied it, and now she says that he is. I think he's doing paperwork and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like Bill is a very level-headed, even-keeled person, and it was a lot. He said a lot when he said we're supposed to love each other like we did in the beginning. baby steps. Let's bring the therapist. They're obviously acting like they're not in love, and there's obviously problem. So on one hand, I feel like Jennifer's trying. I feel bad for her. I feel like she didn't process that affair. But again, hurt people, and that's why she went after Marge last year. And Marge didn't say anything that wasn't already out in the bloggy thingies. Again, I was also not on Marge's side last summer when she was talking about Louis stuff after Teresa told her not to a few times. Because I am one, I give you, this is why sometimes I do explain to you guys, perception is your reality, and Teresa reacts on her perception. And when she thinks that somebody is, all right, so she's like, somebody tells her she tells somebody 5 times not to do something. I myself hate to repeat myself. I make myself clear to these people, certain people, my friends, whatever. And if you continue to do stupid shit and you do things that I ask you not to, yeah, I am going to lose my shit. And that's where she's at. And that's where she was last year with Louis. Now, on the other hand, she's a hypocrite because she does the same stuff. I know, sorry. I just don't want to get sidetracked and all that. Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked and all that. Sorry. But yeah. It's a lot when Bill says that, they're having issues. Do I feel like she's right? Should Bill back her? Now, let me say, it's you guys. Do you think that your husband should back you up no matter what? Now, I was going to say no because she's wrong a lot, right? But I also would kill my husband if he, knowing that I'm wrong most of the time in my very first reactions, my very initial reaction, usually the way I react and my delivery is wrong. And I do always apologize, but I do expect my husband to back me up, and that is probably not the best thing to do. But again, that's the person. You know what I mean? If that's the person that should. Behind closed doors, I would want to be told that I'm wrong. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, and I do this with my friends too, like I say to you guys all the time, like I am probably the most loyal friend, and loyal to a fault sometimes. But I will always have your back. And there's people that don't have my back. But behind closed doors, if you fucked up, I'm telling you that you fucked up and that you're going to stop fucking up, because I'm not going to defend you if you keep fucking up. You know what I'm saying? And most of my friends respect me for that. So when I get on Teresa about the way she's acting and the way she's treating people and the way she's treating Joe, it's literally only because I half get it. I see her perceptions, her reality, but she's forgetting that she's also doing exactly what she's asking everybody else not to. And she's forgetting that she's not literally, she's not remembering the things that she says don't make sense. And how can you sit there and go back all years and years and years and say that the reason all this is happening now is because of things that happened years ago when you were fine with these people for years after that? So, yeah. Again, we get to the part where we show Jennifer's shore house. Again, it is on the boardwalk. It was. I'll tell you guys, it's not cheap. But the fact that she is going to sleep on the seat, I am shocked about this. I am shocked about the sheets. I'm shocked about the beds. If you know anything about, yes, the Jersey Shore, you can get a house that's completely furnished. It looks exactly like a shore house that the Jersey Shore looks like. The furniture, the decor. Yeah, I'm shocked though that Jennifer did not rip it apart and put $1 million into it. And I'm shocked that she's sleeping on the same sheets and the same mattress. That, my friend, is disgusting. And out of the words of Teresa, which I didn't agree with either, because the house that she bought with Joe Giudice in the very beginning of the season was not brand new. It was literally down the studs and rebuilt back up again. She said, "Ew, that's gross. I don't like to live in other people's stuff. That's gross." Like, everybody in the world cannot afford a brand new house, Teresa. But Jennifer even can. She did buy a house, but you don't need to keep those sheets, girlfriend. And I feel really cringy and gross about that. And the comment that Louis made, okay. Let me see. I know I'm probably forgetting things. So let me get through this, because literally, okay. So when they're sitting there at the party, and Louis goes to find Donna to reinvite her to the wedding, why in the world? How in the world? Because again, Teresa said clearly it was not an oversight. She does not want Donna there, and that's wrong. Louis disagrees. So I'm feeling like, as much as I can't stand some of the stuff that Louis does, when things are extremely wrong and there's no way you get no, and he just is like, no, I can't, I literally cannot be grouped into this one. And not inviting Donna Marco is something he knows is absolutely wrong, uncalled for. The excuse makes no sense. He knows it was a dig. He knows it's immature. He was going to go on and fight her anyway. What does that tell you about how wrong he thinks that Teresa is at that moment? Because he did have her back at the thing when he said to Joe Gorga, look, she's my wife. She doesn't want them at the wedding. What am I supposed to do, my friend? And he said, I agree with you, Joe. Your mother-in-law should be there. That's all I'm saying. Now, Teresa was pissed. You could tell. But of course, she doesn't want the love. Her love bubble. Family. God forbid that you look like something's popping her love bubble, like Louis going behind. Louis basically throwing her under the bus with this whole thing. Now, she's not going to tell you that because she doesn't want you to think that her love bubble's popped. Her therapist should be telling her that she's wrong. I mean, I don't know what I don't know. I feel like your therapist is supposed to be the one who tells you about yourself. And I say this to you guys, I'm an open goddamn book. I don't have a choice because I've always been like that. I have ADHD. And I realize now my communication is like, I'm quirky. I know I'm weird. I literally overtalk. I overshare. I interrupt people. I am like literally all of the surgery things with ADHD. And I don't know how the hell anybody's ever literally had a conversation with me. I really don't. I'm annoyed with myself. Probably why I don't have a co-host on here. But literally I'm watching it. I'm like, I get it. And maybe because I watched that show and I'm just like, I forget that we're like in a world of our own and we're all the same. But yeah, like I feel like if anybody should be telling you about yourself with your therapist, and the whole thing at that party, that communication, that whole thing was a clusterfuck in itself. You know, Marge is obviously angry with Jennifer, and I wish to God that she would just say why. And I know that she said it a million times on interviews. I wish that she would just say, you and Teresa met up with Laura Lee, my ex-best friend, and you have this information that you think is making me look so bad, and you're going to try to destroy your brother and his, but I don't know why people are acting like that. They want to make up, and Teresa and Melissa acting like, oh, love you, sister. Oh yeah, let's get the text messages out and you see how fast they went away. Nobody would be saying that. Two people wouldn't be saying that if somebody had taken $250,000 from them, or Teresa, Melissa knew that I was pissed. That she knew that she met up with the bitter Betty. She knew what she had. She knew what she was doing. She knew what Teresa was doing. And so I don't know, I understand why Joe was like, screw that, I'm not coming to the stuff you invite me to. But Teresa's saying all the stuff about not being invited to her shore house and not doing these over the years. And, how come she's not inviting this one and that one? She doesn't see, that's where she's like, the well doesn't run that deep because she forgets what she says. Thank you. I mean, I kind of had to be, I kind of was open book before inappropriately, but then when I start running my mouth about, ex-best friends of mine and I tell the story, of course, and, I also feel like when I give my opinions about things, that because I've been on both sides of a lot of different life things, life lessons, addiction, mental illness, still deal with it. On the outside, what you thought was a perfect family, and then you think that the one side, you think that things just happen, right? And it's like a simple Google search will tell you everything I've said, but I needed people to hear it from me and hear, like my past and my side of things and like where I'm coming from on here, because I knew that people were going to talk, and I knew the things I was saying about certain best friends and ex-best friends, they were going to turn around and probably throw that right back in my face, which is, again, I am always honest about who I am and where I am. But like when I made that one video about myself for 3 hours, like even I watch it back sometimes and I'm like, Krista, you sound like such a poor me. I'm learning, I'm getting there. But the reason I share so much on here is because, again, a simple Google search will tell you anything. And, I am very proud of a lot. I'm proud of myself. I'm extremely proud of myself because I crawled myself out of the damn gutter. And, my husband is the one who I worked basically up until 3 years ago. Okay. So it's not like I just walked in and he just said, here's a house, honey. Here's a life. Here's the perfect man. Like I had to keep that husband. He wasn't going to stay with the person that he met. The person he met was basically not even 6 months clean, not 6 months out of jail. I was still on probation. I still had 5 years on suspended sentence till 2017. I still owed a lot of money in fines, which he ended up paying off for me. But I had to slowly keep the husband. I had to get better. And it did take me a long time. It wasn't that recently, that I completely had gotten but I have improved over the years. There has not been 1 year that I went backwards. I'll tell you that. And yes, I've been clean off of hard drugs, meaning crack, dope, and the needle and all that crap since 2012, whenever it is. Okay. Because I saw a comment last week from a bitter Betty pointing out me saying that I am clean on here, and they know that I'm not, and I've always specified what I was clean from, that I smoke pot, and that I did do meth and sell meth up until not that long ago. And I'm talking about a couple of years ago, and then I stopped. And I'm not sorry. Like, it was just literally like it was like extremely hard thing. I'm not justifying it, but it was never a problem. Like, that was never an issue. That drug was never an issue for me. I was abusing my Adderall. I was on Adderall my whole life for ADHD. It's the same thing. I decided that I thought it was better to do that, and then whatever. I'm not trying to excuse it, but the whole point is, people like to specify that I say that I'm clean and sober when I really am not, and I've never freaking said I was completely sober. I said I'm Jersey sober. I smoke weed all day long. It keeps you assholes safe. Just saying. You assholes meaning the people that talk. I know I'm jumping ahead, but I feel like watching this episode again. Does it trigger me? Yeah. I feel like it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. And no matter what Teresa says, people are going to pick. It's going to be 50-50. People aren't going to understand that. There's no way in hell that you would be sitting across the table from somebody if they sold $250,000 from you. Let's be honest. Let's be real. The fact that that they know that at the finale, that the finale is when it finally comes up about they fight about the whole thing, about the meeting up with the bitter Bettys and talking about Melissa cheating on Joe. It's coming up, and that's why I wanted to address it one more last time before the next episode, because like that money thing, that's not a thing. And I'm waiting for somebody to on the Gorga side to come out and say that what exactly did really happen. And I really wish they would, because it's not my business. But I'm telling you right now, think about it. You don't even have to listen to me. Would you be filming a show with somebody if they stole that much money? Would you be forgiving them and wanting them at your wedding if they stole that much money? If they did that, would you want that? No, you wouldn't. Okay. Louis probably, they probably were going to go in business together at one point. I don't believe, I'm not saying that didn't happen. I just feel like that money thing is a little twisted and a little not the whole truth. Okay. Again, everybody, you can put things on paper and look really, really bad about yourself, but there's more to the story. And I'm just saying, even if you don't know, you don't need to know the rest to think about this, guys. Why would they be in the same room together? Do you not think we would have heard about that? Do you not think they would be screaming it from the rooftops? Joe, my brother stole money. My brother stole $250,000. No, they would. But did I miss anything? Yeah, what's the party where they're all drinking? Oh, John Feuda getting waxed. I mean, that is a Jersey Shore party, like I said. Frank and Britt show up. That was awesome. Again, you guys, I don't know how much you really see of Britt, but she's like just the sweetest, quietest. Doesn't, when she speaks, she listen, because that she says things that actually meaningful. She doesn't just like talk shit to talk shit. She doesn't talk just to talk. But when she says things are important, just like Rachel. And I feel like it's their age, like they're a lot younger than us. They're, they just don't understand the shit that goes on. I mean, they have to understand Housewives. I get that. But watching it and being on it is two different things, and actually realizing that they are really acting like this. These grown women are really acting that psychotic, immature, and bitter and butthurt. But again, that's the Real Housewives. This is a show called The Real Housewives. Yeah. Is this supposed to be about Real Housewives? Yes. But listen, it's always been about the drama. It's always been about the cotton candy arguments. That's what's happening. And I feel like, I want to see more of their families. Jennifer Fessler, Rachel Feuda's family on here. I think Danielle's family. I think we need to get into the brother thing. I want them to stay on the show. And I think Britt and Frank, we need to see more of that so people stop thinking that he's crying about Dolores. Because we love to see Paulie and Dee. They're amazing. They're happy. It's not because he's always wanted to be back with Dolores. No, maybe years and years and years. It's not a thing. He's crying because we don't like change in Jersey. He has a girlfriend, guys. He has a very serious girlfriend. And she understands the dynamic. She understands what he means by that. So, yeah. So when I see, like, I feel like I'm sitting there, like, I'm ruining you guys. I'm ruining the show for you guys. And I feel like I'm watching Rachel and be, like, real just calm and very level-headed and very logical, thinking it's going to work. And I'm like, forget that there's a level of, like, retardedness here that we have to act like. There's a level of acting like things are a bigger deal than they are. Or, like, acting like you're forgiven and then you're really not because you want to fight at the next party. Because social media basically... Okay, I'm just saying, just think about this for a minute. Don't you think that half the time that Teresa and Melissa Gorga and Joe are not even doing this back and forth shit, that it's just the people that are on Teresa's team or whatever, Tree Huggers, and the people that are like pro Melissa and think that they're having that is what social media, that is what driving the narrative, that's what it's called. They make money that way. Content creators make money doing this. We make money, they make money, the more we talk about it, the more money they make, the more money, you know what I mean? But the thing that people that do it for free, and the people that lose their channels, and the people that literally keep getting extremely heated. And yes, I am guilty of getting into people's comments and defending Joe and Melissa and talking about how ridiculous some of these accusations are. And then I find myself saying, my God, Krista, you're doing it. You're engaging. You know better. This is supposed to, don't get upset about it. Stop defending these people. Most of this is literally for the show, not just for the show, but the things with Joe and Teresa, they happened when they were filming. And this whole filming thing started, and we're not going to see there's two major things: the money thing, and the Bitter Betty launch. So they need therapy. At this point, if you're telling people for real, I really don't believe that Louis telling people that Joe and Melissa stole $250,000. I don't know where or why people think that people think that they would still be filming. Listen, whatever. Make your money. I'm not trying to shit on anybody's content and ruin the entire production thing for you guys. But again, let's just really, before we all start jumping on Joe Gorga, calling him a fraud and all that crap, let's really think about it. Would that have kept quiet? Would that have really happened? Do you really think that the 200, that's a lot of money? When it was just the niece and it was only $25,000, I understood if Louis if that happened and things didn't follow through, and maybe he lent the girl $25,000 was his niece. That's one thing. Do I think that Joe and Melissa would set her up to steal the money, the $25,000? No. Maybe something, I understood why maybe we didn't hear too much about it, because to them that's not that much money. But $250,000 is a hell of a lot of money to a lot of people, including them. And Louis would not be sitting there trying to mend fences if Joe had taken $200,000. And I don't want to hear that it was after filming and that it was recently, because why would Joe go in business with Louis after the wedding? Think about it. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Shay. I do. I hope so. I have, like I said, I'm proud of how far I've came. That's what I was getting to earlier. Yeah, I was pretty much I was barely off paper. I owed the IRS. I still owe the IRS $80,000. I owed $10,000 for my license. I owed restitution. I owed all kinds of stuff. My husband did help me pay it off. I had to stay on till the very fucking end of my thing, because I always figured after I got out, after I did a couple, I had a couple violations, and I went in and I was like, all right, I'm going to finish the time here, and then I'll be on probation for 5 years, or suspended sentence for 5 years. I kept getting violated. So then I just kept going back, and I kept getting arrested, and I kept missing court and all that crap. So when I finally was getting my stuff together, I still had to spend 3 years of my relationship on that. And yeah, and like I said, I am proud. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you guys when I fuck up. Did I fuck up on that stuff? Dope, crack? No. If I do meth, you'll be the first to know. Trust me. Nobody would know because I would be, you guys would not hear from me. I wouldn't be sending manic messages this long. I would not be sending novels because I'm the opposite. Adderall and all that calms me down because I have ADHD. It makes me not manic. It makes me normal. So I have to learn to not be that way without Adderall, without that stuff. I do take my Adderall. I just don't take as much as I'm prescribed. I'm prescribed a very normal amount, and I take not even a quarter of it. But so yeah, I am proud of myself. Like, and again, I don't tell people not to do drugs. I don't tell my friends. I don't judge. What I tell people not to do, what I don't like is the lying, the stealing. If you are going to lie and steal and like sell drugs and be stupid and do dumb things on the drugs, that's what I have a problem with. Because I can sit here and I'll do drugs with you all day long because I have my bills are more than paid. Nobody would ever know. Now, in my 20s and 30s, no, I couldn't have. I had no business doing it. Not at all. I was a piece of shit. Now, if I wanted to do them, I could, and I don't. But the fact is, like, when I do, I'll tell you. Don't worry. You'll be the first to know. But it's like, it's ridiculous to sit here and like drag me. And I don't care. I don't know you guys have seen it or not seen it. I've never said I was completely sober. I've always explained if anybody asks, I explain what I mean. And when you are literally homeless, smoking crack in your room, hauled up in a corner, overdosing on heroin, taking Xanax like you're at it, like literally every day of your life, escaping, losing everything finally in my third, like losing everything. And being homeless, basically, my parents were like, when you get home, you're not coming back. You get out and you figure it out. I had to get a crisis. I did all of that on my own. And still, my parents weren't saying, if you go here, then you'll have a place to live. No, I still had to find my own way. Like, that tough love saved my life. So when people in my friend group or a friend group like to say certain things about me, no. You guys, my channel, my friends on my here, they know what I mean. I know what I've said. I know what I mean when I say what I mean. And I feel like my life experience and my issues help me understand people. And I understand hurt people, so I can explain some of the behaviors that we see on reality TV, maybe some more than others. It doesn't make me look like a flip-flopper. No, I've just been on both sides. I now have gotten my shit together. I now, me and my husband, he works extremely hard. So I can stay home and work now on my mental health for the last 3 years. And that's what I do. My spirituality, my mental health. I do not want to work in where I don't want to go back to working for school. I never go back to the mortgage company. I'm not going to go just work anywhere. I work here. I get paid nothing on YouTube. I could get paid. I could be monetized. My post yesterday was not about money. Never been about money. Not about money. Do I deserve the numbers? Did the numbers tell me that I'm amazing? Did the numbers say that it's working? Yes. Do I still look at myself and feel like a loser? Yes. But that's the lies that we tell ourselves. That's what's in my head. But I have literally no reason to not say that aloud. I tell you how I feel. I tell you, on my face, I can't hide it when I'm annoyed, when I'm bored, when I'm activated, when I'm pissed, when I'm anything. You see it on my face. I don't hold back. I don't sugarcoat things. I hate when people say that I'm very angry and I should still be going to therapy. Listen, I've done that. I've been there. Anger, I literally conquered that about 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I was angry my whole life. I'm not angry anymore. I am literally, matter of fact, when I tell you how I feel and when I'm cursing and I'm saying things in comments and I'm talking and I'm venting to my friends about my things that go on in my head, that's the shit that goes on in my head all the time. I'm used to it. I'm just should keep most of it to myself. I'm not going to kid you and say I'm going to go to therapy and tell you that it's going to work because I've done it, been there. I have a peace-filled bubble here. Do I let some things bother me? Yeah. But that's just the way it is. That's just me. I'm trying to do a better job of not letting it show. Maybe, and like I know that my ADHD, having a co-host is different. I have to. This is different. I can talk and not take a breath. My points probably get lost in my rhetoric, whatever. But I'm just honest. Like I've done drugs, so that's another thing. My cognitive responses are also screwed because of that. So again, you're not telling me anything about myself I don't already know or anything I don't already say about myself. And I also don't feel like I should have to constantly clarify what I mean about sober. And thank you. It is extremely hard because do I want to sit there? There's times where I'm so pissed off at my friends and my family and my husband. My husband only does is drink beer, but he doesn't even the rest of everybody else is high as hell, drunk. They go out, they have a good time, and I'm like, again, don't I want to be doing that stuff too? Yes, but there's no drug I want to do right now. There's no drug that makes me like want to do all that anymore. I don't drink, so it's like I'm not doing a drug that I have to sit there. Like I'm not a partier. You know what I mean? So I don't go to bars, and if I do, it would just like I literally when we went to New York for the tour, I was like, how am I going to do this? I was like, I'm not going to be fun because I don't drink. I smoke. Like I was like, people are going to think I'm boring. I rarely have gone out since I've been sober. Like, and I mean, I don't go out anyway. But like, I'm after 2 hours, I'm back home because my friends are like, there's like a 2 hour window with Krista because, I'm very like socially weird and anxious, and I felt like I'm just a weirdo. And like even around my friends, I pick up everybody's energy. I'm an empath. So I can walk around for 2 hours. I walk out of the house, I'm perfectly fine. After 2 hours, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm anxious. People are, I can't do it. I got to go home. And yeah, so it's like I was going to like, I didn't know how I was going to last, but I did last in New York at Adam's thing till 3 a.m. I did. The only person that went home and dipped out early was Zach Peter, and he's not going to do it again this year. Zach Peter, you hear me? On April 27th, when you come to Philly, I told you where to stay. Told you we're going to have our Brett and Ariana moment in the pool because Brett and Ariana, we saw the trailer for Vanderpump. That is going to be, I was like, oh my God, I love them together. That's her gay best friend. Me and Zach, he better get a pool, hotel, whatever. I said to stay somewhere with a pool and a bar. We don't want to be walking around Philly after the show because the crime rate is up like 500% and I don't even feel safe. And I'm basically 16 minutes from there. And I'll probably we're probably going to take the car right there. And then I said, I don't think we should get any bars. We should probably get a hotel with a pool. So if anybody talks to Zach, they tell him tonight that I said, he already knows, but we're going to have our Brett and Ariana moment because that looks like so much fun. And I don't, I'm going to like, I said, if you want to dip out, because he dipped out early last year. And I get it because I'm the same way. I wanted to dip out too, but like I wasn't going to miss hanging out with all the Adams family people. It was fun and Adam and all. But like I said, look, just go back to your hotel, all of us, the people that stay after and hang out with them. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, nofilterlive.com. Not sure, it's a night out. City Winery, Zach and Bravo Brothers are coming to Philly. They have invited a lot of, I think, housewives and stuff. Don't know exactly who. Not sure if they know exactly who, but they... me and Aaron will be there. I'm pretty sure Aaron is definitely coming. Another friend of mine that you guys kind of know, and then I have a couple other table that might be filled with people that you guys know too. And also so I'm not gonna say much more of that because I'm not really sure, but it's gonna be a good time. So if anybody is in the area in Philly, Naughty Love, anybody in Philly, let me know because I have the tickets. I have enough tickets. I have enough seats for VIP at the show. And I do have extras. So, it'll be a good time. And I think, I've gone on long enough. But, I mean, people are here watching. Anybody want to? I know Sarah had to go. Or Gabby had to go. And guys too, sorry that if I've gone on to about me too much, but sometimes I get exhausted with the show because I do live here and live it with a different group of people, but 6 degrees of separation. Everybody knows everyone, and I get it. I'm just it's like I watch it, then I watch it on the TV, and I'm just like, and then I feel like I feel the need to defend things. And I'm like, no, let them just have their content. Let them just do their thing and say what they want. Let them do it. It makes everybody money. But it just gets really exhausting. So I didn't even know how I was going to do this one. Because I did happen to see the comments about myself. Because, of course, I forgot to check my complete comments last week. And when I didn't do Jersey, I was commenting on other people's Jersey stuff. And then I saw how I was getting a certain party that has... See, this is the funny thing, though. If you get a cease and desist against somebody, and I get it, I probably would have got one against me too. How is it okay for you to go and then talk about them? Like, that's what I don't get, but it's fine. I'm not telling you anything, or you're not telling them anything that I have not told these people myself, person who I'm talking to. Anything you say, trust me, I said it. And probably more than once, and probably inappropriately, and probably overshared a million times. So, and anybody who doesn't believe, if you think I'm not, like, if you really don't think I'm an open book, literally just go watch the video called, what is it called? All About Me, I think it says, or I think it's titled, I'm Not Going to Regret This, But You Might, or something like that. I was supposed to privatize it, but then I listened to it, and I do not threaten anybody's life. I don't name anybody by name, and therefore that wasn't a violation of anything. So, yeah. It's just a little poor me kind of thing, but it's the things that people think they know about me that I've already told you about myself. But again, I need some therapy, but I'm not going to go sell you guys and say I'm going to go get it. Yes. It's not going to work. I mean, I tried. I'm going to try to listen more, and I'm going to do some exercises and some communication things. And yes, I'm taking a little bit of a, like, not ADHD class, like it's like a webinar thing, but basically because I feel bad for the person that co-hosts with me that has to deal with me. And I'm nervous and I'm embarrassed because the podcast is streamed on Split. This is one thing I feel like this is even more, like, this would be more scary, right? Because, like, I'm live. I can't just I can't edit it myself out. If I say something, like, literally, it's not going to go away because you guys are watching me live. But you would think that I would have took myself more seriously here, and, getting the hint from certain people, like, about not wanting to be on a panel with me or co-host with me. I kind of understood, but, like, I want the podcast to work. Not that I want this to work, but this is just me sometimes. But I appreciate you guys' patience, and I feel bad for anybody that's ever had to have a conversation with me. Now I get it. I kind of got it before, but I didn't care or take it seriously. I do get it now because it does affect the trajectory. I guess, I mean, not trajectory, but, like, I think it affects the way I I don't collab. I don't go on panels with people because I'm too nervous. I'm too, like, I feel like very insecure about it now. So it affects me, and I feel bad that, like, it probably stops people from asking me too. So just know I am very well aware of it. And yeah, so I guess that's it. I feel like I haven't seen everybody in so long, or talked to anybody in so long. I don't really want to hang up, but I can't really have this on for too long. Vanderpump is tonight. God, I cannot wait to talk about the trailer or the episode. I feel like I kind of want to shut this down and then just go back on and talk about the trailer. But maybe we will do that. So anybody that's listening, I still see everybody on Twitter. I love you guys. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. It's like Adam. I love, and I love the fact that you're all about positivity, and everybody is like, you guys need to go follow and watch the Juice too as well. Like, I was looking at their channels and everything, and, like, that is exactly what I think that I've been looking for. Like, not that I'm trying to, like, go on there and say, hey, I need therapy, guys. You got to be my therapist. But, like, knowing that other people recognize that or I recognize that it's not just me, and that other people feel like the lies that you tell yourself in your head, like, that's a real thing, man. Yeah. Oh, Shay, and that's Shay. I did see you text me. I did, but I'm assuming that it was not really an emergency. You said, please, girl, you better call me. I think you were, like, only half serious because I haven't talked to you in a while. But if you, yeah, I will definitely text you back today, like regular text, phone text. Another thing too, guys, I'm sorry about my Instagram DMs because, again, I'm trying not to, like, get sucked into my devices because you guys, if I told you what time I started to get ready for this live, you would say, girlfriend, you need help. Okay. It's embarrassing to even say. Let me throw in that I do tan in my own house. So that's about 20 minutes of my time. And then I shower and all that. But if I really told you what time this all started and what time I actually get to you guys, you're going to be like, you need freaking help. What is wrong with you? Your ADHD is out of control and you're literally not getting shit done. Started getting ready 7 o'clock tonight. Okay. I'm lying. That's exaggerating. Probably earlier. I get up at 3:45. George leaves at 4:45. My ass is starting my work. It is, right? Girl, the fact that I was like, when he's told me that the tour, or that he was coming to Philly, and I got really excited, then I remembered about, how hard, like, there's murders, there's shootings, people are getting killed. There are 14, 15-year-old kids killing each other everywhere. And Shay, I am Jersey, girl. I don't even, not only do I put a whole face on, I put all extensions in too. Every time you see me, they're very like, it's very rare that they're from the day before. I put them on fresh before I see you all because I take them out at night sometimes. But like, yeah, I got a whole, people say like Jersey's extra too much. Like, and I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I was like, oh, that. But speaking of also, now Melissa Wergas knows. Now if you watch the season, okay, her nose looks like it did in the very beginning. So that to me, she did not have, maybe she had one nose job. She had one nose job. But if you look at her nose now, you can barely tell she had a nose job. She was definitely she was contouring her nose for a really long time. And she did a damn good job of it because I was even calling her a liar saying you had 4 nose jobs. I'm just thinking about it because I'm looking at the thing right now. And we were just talking about like this whole thing. The whole getting new teeth in Jersey, and Jennifer Fessler has had a glow up on Watch What Happens Live. I'm all about it. Have a glow up. I hope that you're coming. I mean, I hope that she comes back, and I hope that she does because her glow up's amazing, and I know she did it based on being on the show. I'm pretty sure. Again, I wish that they would, her and Danielle and Rachel, I love you guys, and realize that there's a level of miscommunication and disgusting toxic drama that makes no sense and going about on people's back that has to happen. And as much as I love you guys and like I know that you preach it and you guys are being right, you guys are absolutely right, you're logical. This is not a logical group and you know it. It's not a logical argument. It's not a logical thing. Some people get very scared of their jobs and they're going to lose their jobs and they just go nuts, like Jennifer Aiden. You know what I mean? Just saying. Like honestly, like that's because listen, they don't have anything to like. They have nothing to say bad about Rachel. They have nothing. Jennifer has nothing on her. Like she was being absolutely right. Again, when Teresa said the shit about Marge and Rachel went and repeated it, that is the same shit that Teresa already says to Marge's face. And Marge said about herself, I'm a lethal enemy. Yeah, you don't want to be on anybody's bad side in New Jersey. Unfortunately, that is true. And that is true. And it's not right. And it's like, it's not threatening. We're not mobsters. That's not what anybody's saying. Nobody's going to throw anybody to the fish. Nobody's, except maybe Caroline and Brandy. But that's not even, it's not even a thing. And that's not what people are afraid of. That's not, Marge does not have anything on anybody. She's actually really friends with Melissa and all that. But like, you really don't want to get on somebody's bad side. And listen, Marge, if Marge really thought that Melissa, that was a real thing, the cheating whole thing with that guy and Joe, don't you think that she would have said it by now? Like she would have brought that up by now. Like if it was really a thing and it wasn't just a misunderstanding, it would have been talked about. It wasn't talked about because it was a joke. Like it was like barely, it was like, haha, funny. Oh my God. I thought you guys were looking up. Oh, that's so dumb. Like, why would you think that? Okay, it's funny, joke, haha. Let's tell our husbands and wives. Yeah, guys, let's maybe not ever talk about this because, let's like maybe not bring this up again. That's all. And Teresa knows that. And I'm pretty sure Jennifer probably knows that too. And they both have said that they don't believe it, but that's just what Jennifer said, or that's what Margaret told Laura. So it's Margaret's fault. Margaret made that rumor up. Admitting that it's not true, that it never happened. Admitting that it was made up and trying to blame it on Marge. Marge didn't make it up. Like just like Teresa didn't make up the thing about Evan and Jackie, production did. Production put that in her head. And then after that came all the guys thought they heard them talking about it. Yeah, of course they did. Because you're watching a show that literally that was filmed a year prior and it was all talked about all the way up until us watching the season. And then when the season aired, it was talked about again. And that's what they were talking about. Again, I keep saying this. I'm not going to go in circles and keep repeating myself. And I do it anyway. And you guys, nobody listens to me. I'm nobody. Nobody has to listen to me about anything. I'm just telling you I live here. And you don't have to watch, or you don't have to live here and know the people to understand that some of these accusations are so ridiculous. Just like Rachel paying off Joe Gorga and Melissa with free tile, promising out free tile from her in-laws to get on a TV show. Millions of dollars they would have needed of tile. And then say that did happen. And then dumping Melissa when she got on the show. Again, you see they're still friends. You see how ridiculous that sounds. She didn't make her boyfriend change his last name to Fuda. He was Fuda before that. He has his own personal reasons for taking his mom's last name. Whatever. This is, things happen in life. When people turn around and use it as like clickbait or use it as information and use it as like a weapon against people, think about how ridiculous that really absolutely sounds. And I would hope that maybe it's just because I'm here and I think, like, God, that's really stupid. Do people really believe? I didn't think people actually really believed it. But again, like, maybe I just think it sounds ridiculous earlier. But listen, that's not a thing. She was like 18 years old, 19 years old. Could you imagine saying, hey, and also, by the way, I'm also the same girlfriend that told your son that he had to change his last name because Fuda is a more prominent name in this part of Jersey because of Fuda tile. He owned a pizza shop or something, right? Like, Fuda, like, they already, like, he's already owned, like, they own businesses and stuff already. Like, that, she didn't need the Fuda name. Like, he already had that name. Again, I'm so happy that she's not literally, like, having to be out there to defend that. I'm just saying, think about the things that are being said. And when I say you don't have to know me or listen to me, just think it, like, it does to me, sounds absolutely ridiculous. Like, that's just not feasible, And no, it's not because Teresa March does not have anything on Joe and Melissa and Joe and Melissa. It's not, that's not a thing, but whatever. Again, here I go. But, yeah. And I feel it too. Like, if I literally said that I didn't have work to do on myself, I mean, come on, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all could use work. Like, I'm just literally, just starting to, like, literally, I'm the most grateful and the most content. And people might disagree and say I'm still kind of angry, but there's only 2 people that literally can push my buttons and make me rage. That's what's her name and my sister. And the things that go on with that person and in my sister's group of people. That's what makes me rage. My fault, my problem. I still engage. I shouldn't. And that's it. We're all work in progress, like I said. I'm not angry, guys. You don't have to say it. You don't have to think it. I don't need a pep talk. Something happened also yesterday. And it's just in the words of Heather McDonald. I don't know if you saw what happened, but I will no longer fuck with people that do not find you wonderful. Like, if you do not want to fuck with me, I will support you, but I will no longer fuck with you. And I don't need to hear about how awful of a panel person I am. Basically, I was like, oh my God, Heather, I feel your pain. I'm hearing the same shit. And that's all that was about yesterday. And like I even said in my next story thing, listen, I'm in my feelings. I get it. I sound like a poor me now. I know. It's my problem. I'm choosing to support people. I'm choosing to financially pay on Patreon because I literally I pay and I still continue to pay for, and I don't even go on my Patreon. And I'm talking about other content creators' Patreons. I actually pay for a top tier, because I did not have an Apple device to rate and review their podcast, because back when they started, podcast rates and reviews were the most important thing. It still keeps them going. And here I am now asking people to rate and review my podcast and follow me on my podcast, like, to do the same for me that I've been doing for them for years, knowing that I even not following my channel, not supporting my channel or anything. I was like, great, maybe I'll prove myself. You know what I mean? One day, I'll be on here long enough and prove myself, and I'll deserve their support. But again, I just find it really shitty that I was like, literally, I pay and I still continue. And yes, I do something because I'm nosy, the Patreon thing, but I pay for top tier Patreon for people because I could not support their podcast by rating and reviewing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the kind of, like, I support big or little channel. I don't care if you literally got started yesterday and you have 1 subscriber. I will promote the shit out of you if I know about you. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care if somebody sees me subscribe to somebody's channel and they're very controversial, and they don't want me, like, I know that that's a reason that some other content creators won't subscribe to people's channels or podcasts or have, like, collabs with them. To me, it's like, what? I mean, I get it a little bit, but not really. I mean, you're not Andy Cohen, right? Just saying. Like, I don't know what the magic number is for people to, to support and collab with people. I don't know what that magic number is, but, like, we're all literally, half of us aren't getting paid. And if you do, it's really not that much. And if you ever do finally get the chance to be offered a paid podcast, you will know that you are wonderful, and you will not want to no longer fuck with people that don't want to fuck with you, but you'll do it anyway because you're supportive. And I will always do that. I will never, ever say that, like, I still don't have a lot of subscribers on YouTube, guys. I didn't realize that my link wasn't working when I would post it on all my other socials. Once I fixed it, yeah, I'm growing now. And like I said, numbers mean something. And, I'm working on my communication. But I'm talking for too long, guys. Sorry. All right. I'm going to go get a little bit of Vanderpump stuff together. What time is it now? I can't tell. What time is it? I can't see. Oh, that died too. 5:51? Okay. 6:15, I'll be back. We're going to do some Vanderpump stuff. So everybody that's watching, I love you all. Thank you. Come back in a little bit. Sorry that I went in a bunch of about me shit after that, but I just needed to clarify that because, again, I do feel bad when people, like, my friends do worry and they do message me, and I didn't mean to say, like, I don't need a pep talk. I don't need you guys. You guys do enough of cheering me up, and I appreciate it all the time. But that was just me and my feelings yesterday. I know I'm great. I get it. Love you. See you in a couple minutes. Thank you for all the comments, by the way.